You're probably wondering, Jesse, what are you doing? And if you're not, well, I'm gonna tell you anyways, because you're here. I'm gonna go get something. We just got some collars for the goats. Oh, and a billy goat. Hey dude, y'all meet Hammer. He's gonna give us babies hopefully. So, no, he is not ours to keep. I'm borrowing him from a friend of mine because it's time that we breed our girls before they get too old. So, we went and picked up Hammer, and the reason he's called Hammer is because apparently he will just breed anything. I think I got, is that dirt on my face? I had dirt on my face. But yeah, so now we gotta get him off the truck. We stopped and we got him a harness that I can put around his head, his mouth and stuff, because he doesn't have any horns, and he's obviously not used to being around everything going on. So we're gonna try to do this as safely and efficiently as possible.
Mr. Dirt. Mr. Dirt.
Wade.
Sit down. I'm just looking. I'm Mr. Dirt.
All right. Let's go. Come on.
Does it fit?
Yeah. Come on. You want to get up?
Get up. Go.
Come on. Come on. We got girlfriends for you. Stop, Wade. Come on. He's like, I got food. So let's go. Come on. We got girls. We got ladies.
We got ladies, mister.
All right, let's do this.
You do the hard thing, and I'll do this.
Got it? I just set them right down. Okay. Maybe.
What? That post thing that poked up.
Oh shit. Close it up. Told you to double up.
Well, give me his collar.
You bought him a collar?
Yeah, the blue, huh?
Actually do this, Daddy.
You're gonna have to pull it.
Daddy.
Just pull it.
Daddy.
Don't break your legs.
Here we go.
Big goat. Hey, big goat.
What crap is this collar?
Hey, Graham.
I'm behind you. Go, just pull him in. It's okay, honey. Go.
Honey?
Come here, honey. It's okay. Be a gentleman. Don't be so scary.
He's a goat.
Woo, you're winning.
As you can tell, the girls aren't used to having a boy around. So everybody's getting used to each other. Of course, he's being very boyish. He's a boy goat. He's smelling and doing what he's supposed to be doing. So it's going to take a little bit of time for them to really get used to him. The dogs don't know what to do either. So we'll have him for a little while. We'll keep an eye on him, and hopefully we'll get some babies out of him. That'll be nice. So I'm gonna hang out here for just a little bit longer, just to really make sure everything goes okay. Make sure that he's doing his pee-pee thing. He stinks, dude stinks. I'll make sure everybody's okay, and then I'm gonna sit down and I'll talk with y'all about like why it is that we got the goats we got and why we are wanting to breed right now. do you think, Oak? What do you think? Yeah, I don't care. I just want love.
What happened?
The chicken just ran interfering.
That's a good boy. That's my good boy. The goats want me. They think I'm going to protect them. He's here for you, girls. He's here for y'all. Okay, two things. First off, why did we choose Nigerian dwarf goats? And second off, why are we now breeding our goats? So the answer to number two is a little bit easier. Well, they're almost 2. And from what I've researched, if you haven't bred them by the time they turn 2, then you're more likely to have complications with their first pregnancy because of their hips. So we waited too long. I didn't know that. Well, that's what I had bred a lot earlier, and I wanted to, but we were thinking that, like, hey, we were trying to be prepared. We wanted to milk first. So that kind of leads us into question number 1 and why we got the Nigerian dwarf goats to begin with. All right, so one of the reasons why we got the Nigerian dwarf goats is because we wanted to milk them. Because the Nigerian dwarf goats have a sweet milk. So me personally, I've never been a big fan of goat's milk because the way it tastes to me tastes the way that billy goat smells. It has a weird taste. I mean, it tastes getting used to, I understand. And so I eat goat cheese and things, just not a lot of it. But the benefit of the goat's milk was the fact that it doesn't have that same protein that the cow's milk has that upsets my stomach. But with eating more or drinking more of the raw milk that we get from Jess, it hasn't been bothering me that much. So, you say, then why are we going to milk the goats? Well, because you can also make soaps and cheeses and stuff out of the milk. So there's multiple reasons that we want to milk them. Although we will not be milking them from their first pregnancy, because their first kidding, because we're not prepared for that. The reason we're getting them bred now is so that we can have them, so they have gone through their first pregnancy. I want to know what kind of goat mother they are and really decide from there if we want to keep going further with it. And so the next reason why we got the Nigerian dwarf goats is because they are little bitty goats. They're dwarf goats. They're small. You saw, I had Hammer in a dog crate. I brought the girls home in a dog crate. I can pick them up. They're barely the size of Honey. And that's one of the things that we like the most, because I didn't want our fencing setup back here is not technically set up for goats. It's the welded 2x4 wire all the way around. So I didn't want goats that were bigger that are going to push up against it a lot harder than they are. They do push up against it. This little piece right here behind me, I need to repair it. I need to do some stuff to it. But hopefully it's going to do the best it can now while we have just these two and the billy, and the plan is to add more pasture as well. And so that being said, the size factored in to why we got them, because not just the fence, but we didn't have as much fenced in area for them. So they browse and work very well in the area they have. And yes, like I said, we want to add more, and that will give them more, because if we breed them, we might end up keeping some babies. We might get some more. I don't know. It all depends on how this pregnancy and maybe the next one goes before we start deciding to milk them, or they might just be a breeding pair. I guess that's not really a breeding pair, but we might only use those two to breed, because we have not worked with them to go into a stanchion and milk and things like that. So we could use their babies as milkers, because we can get our, when we're prepared and we're ready, we'll get our hands on them and work with them constantly and things like that. So that's the reasons that we chose the Nigerian Dwarf goats. We got them locally. They're great goats. We spend a lot of time with them. We love them. They're awesome. And I would recommend, if you're going to get into goats, if you haven't done it before and they're going to be your first, I would look into Nigerian Dwarf goats, because they are super nice as long as you spend time with them. They're small. They have sweet milk. Now, there are some people that mix breed them, and they'll mix them with, it'll be the Nigerian Dwarf and Nubian goats. Now, your Nigerian Dwarf goats are going to produce about a half gallon of milk a day, and your Nubians, being larger, are going to produce about a gallon. So they'll mix them so that they can get a sweet abundance of milk. So they'll get the sweetness of the Nigerian Dwarf and the amount of the Nubian, and you get awesome milk. So that's, I don't think we're going to do that, because I don't care to try mixing stuff like that. That's fun with chickens because it's easy, but I don't want to. I don't know. I just don't want to. So yeah, definitely look into Nigerian Dwarfs. Great goats. We love ours. So appreciate you hanging out with us. I look forward to seeing what old Hammer does and getting our first kids, and just going from there. So catch you in the next one.